If you come from Adobe Analytics, Customer Journey Analytics can feel familiar and unfamiliar at the same time. The familiar part is Analysis Workspace. You still build panels, tables, visualizations, segments, and business views. The unfamiliar part is the data foundation. Traditional Adobe Analytics often starts with report suites, EVARs, props, and events. CJA starts with Adobe Experience Platform datasets and fields modeled through XTM. So the question is not simply where did the buttons move? The real question is what changed in the data model? In traditional Adobe Analytics, a lot of thinking starts with the report suite. You collect web or app data into a report suite, you plan variables, you decide what goes into an EVAR, what goes into a prop, and what counts as a success event. That model is powerful, and many organizations have built years of reporting on top of it. But it also makes the web or app channel the center of gravity. When the business question includes support, store purchases, call center activity, or back-end product events, the conversation gets harder. In CJA, the starting point is not which report suite has this variable. The starting point is which experience platform datasets contain the journey we need to analyze. Those datasets might include Adobe Analytics data, but they can also include CRM records, support interactions, store transactions, product events, subscription events, or lookup tables. CJA connections bring selected datasets into the analysis model. Data views define how fields should appear as dimensions and metrics. Workspace is still where the analyst works, but the components come from the data view, not from the old EVAR and prop mental model. This is one of the most important shifts. In CJA, think in dimensions and metrics. A dimension describes or groups the data: channel, campaign, device type, call region, store region, or product category. A metric counts or measures something: people, events, purchases, revenue, code starts, support calls, or completion rate. If you have an Adobe Analytics background, it is tempting to ask, which EVAR is this? In CJA, the healthier question is, what field do we have and how should the data view interpret it? The big promise of CJA is cross-channel analysis. In practice, this means CJA can help analyze customer behavior across multiple datasets when the data is modeled correctly. For IST retail, that might mean combining web behavior, app behavior, CRM attributes, support interactions, and store purchases. Now the shopper journey can be analyzed as one timeline instead of 5 disconnected reports. But the phrase modeled correctly is doing real work. You still need timestamps. You still need common identifiers. You still need consistent business definitions. So what gets better? First, CJA can work with a broader set of data than a classic web analytics model. Second, data views give you flexible report time interpretation. You can define how fields behave in reporting without permanently changing the underlying platform data. Third, CJA can support cross-channel questions that are difficult when each system is trapped in its own reporting silo. Fourth, analysts can use the workspace experience they may already know, but on a richer data foundation. That is the real value. Familiar analysis, broader journey data. Now the honest side. CJA does not automatically make the data good. It does not automatically make identity correct. It does not automatically tell every team what conversion should mean. And it does not mean every Adobe Analytics feature behaves exactly the same way. Adobe maintains feature support documentation because the details can change. So if you are planning a migration, do not rely on memory or assumptions. Check the current feature support page. In this course, we focus on stable concepts: datasets, connections, data views, workspace, identity, dimensions, metrics, and governance. Here is the simple takeaway. Adobe Analytics starts many conversations from report suites and analytics variables. Customer Journey Analytics starts from experience platform datasets, then uses connections and data views to make that data available in Workspace. It is not just a new user interface, it is a different foundation for answering broader journey questions. If you remember only one phrase from this lesson, remember this: familiar workspace, different foundation. In the next lesson, we go one layer deeper into the foundation. We will look at connections, datasets, and identity. Connections decide which datasets CJA can use. Datasets provide the source material. Identity affects whether separate events can be understood as part of the same journey. This is where trustworthy CJA analysis begins.